All right, welcome back to my program. William B. Strong here on State of Affairs. I'm going to give you a quick update on the latest from the crisis in Ukraine. It appears now that the Russian convoy heading towards Kyiv, the capital city of Ukraine, is now an estimated 40 miles in length, and that includes vehicles, troop vehicles, logistical vehicles, gasoline vehicles, diesel fuel, anything that you can think of. Not only fighting troops, but cooks and bottle washers, as we used to say in the Army. This is something that needs to be considered because by the end of the week, the Russians will have moved into Kiev, and taken control. Now, control means they have a standard of some control measures over the city. That doesn't mean there won't be street to street, house to house fighting. That doesn't mean they're not going to get hit with projectiles, military and homemade, and make their life a living hell in that capital. There's going to be a lot of death and destruction on the Ukrainian side. That's going to be unfortunate. The next thing they're talking about is war crimes, that Putin and Russia will be investigated for war crimes. And they're talking about certain bombing of civilian areas. Well, if you think about the whole entire frickin' war, isn't that a war crime to invade a sovereign nation without any valid reason? To me, that's a war crime itself. The problem is, for me, is that including with the United States and its allies, NATO allies, we have reacted too slowly to bringing more anti-tank, anti-armor weapons into Ukraine for the purpose of being used against the Russians. The Russians are going to cut off all access routes that are available to bring in these weapons. These aren't something you can hide under your shirt. Despite the best efforts by our covert forces, being special forces or covert CIA, and with the resistance fighters in Ukraine to make this delivery, it's going to be very risky. It's going to be very costly, and it's going to be costly in lives, and it could be costly in shipments of these being intercepted by the Russians and used back against us at some point. It's somewhere in the world. So we've been a little late to the party. And if we knew all this intelligence up front, we should have been giving these weapons, small arms, ammunition to the Ukrainians and pre-positioning it for them. This is something that's going to come out in history that we reacted too slow, and that includes the entire EU and NATO. And that's very, very unfortunate. President Zelensky of Ukraine continues to hold the flag high and proud, and has communicated daily with his citizens in videotaped messages. He's on the run, obviously, as the Russians would love to capture or kill him. That would be a big morale boost for the Russians and would hurt morale for the Ukrainians. This is a concern, obviously, and President Zelensky and his staff continue to be on the move. They have refused to leave the country, and that I salute them for. We should support Zelensky through the EU, through NATO, and through our own forces as much as we can outside the border and sending in weapons, ammunition, food, supplies, blood, medical, anything you can think of to give them a chance. They are willing to do something that the Afghan people would not do. The Afghan people threw down their arms and fled, trying to get on the airplane out. The Ukrainians are going back in from Poland after they get their families out. Many are going back in to pick up a weapon and to defend their homeland. We need to support that. We need to do more than stand up and applaud after Zelensky briefed the EU Parliament today in a very moving, patriotic speech. It's going to take a lot more than that. The Russians are now going to try to destroy the Ukrainian government, and they're going to destroy anything in their wake. That's it from William B. Strong here on State of Affairs. I'll keep you updated. Stay safe.